Hey passengers, it's your boy Benjamin Hay, and this is my story. I grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up in the projects, a community called Red Hook, and it made me who I am today. It showed me that I'm resilient, I'm tough, I can thrive in any environment. I always say my life was one that went from the projects to the penthouse, and it did so much. Not even my physical surrounding, but like more my mentality, like even though I grew up in a rough environment where I saw stuff that no kid should see, I mean, really traumatic stuff from guns and violence and drugs, and just like coming up at the time of the crack epidemic, and literally just saw people transform into zombies like Thriller, and I was just like, ooh, I don't want that. I do not want that for my life. Um, I would just look out the window and just like let my imagination run wild. Like I would see planes take off and be like, I wonder where that plane is going. Like I want to go, I want to travel, and I would watch TV shows that just would just open my mind. Like one of the shows that I loved growing up as a kid was Different Strokes, and like I was like, ooh, I want to live in a big house in a mansion, and I want to have servants take care of me, and like I remember as a kid, the adults in my life watching Dynasty, and like I would just see like these people with just like these wealthy, extravagant, glamorous lifestyles that just had no limitations. It wasn't the material thing so much, it was the limitless ability to do whatever you wanted. I want to do whatever the fuck I want. I don't want to follow rules. And it seems like it takes money and status to do those things. I'm like, okay, well, how can I do that and really be who it is that I'm meant to be? Because the environment that I'm currently in, this ain't it. So I would like literally look out those metal bars and just feel like there's more, there's more, there's more. And when I fast forward to my life now and I look out my window and I see what I see and I think about the life that I have, I'm like, wow, I was right. There is more. And this whole life has been a journey. And I want to let you in on some of that journey. You might know some things, you might not know. So Benjamin Hay is a persona that I created. It happened by accident, to be honest. Um, I wanted to do music, and I've known I wanted to be a recording artist since I was like 17. And some of the artists that I grew up listening to, from Michael Jackson to Mariah Carey to Whitney Houston, hip hop, Foxy Brown, Jay Z, Biggie, Kim. I just was so fascinated by the music industry, and like just felt like, ooh, that seems like an interesting place for me to belong in. Also for creativity, I didn't realize this, but I remember my first show. I was probably 8 years old, and I rapped. It was me and these two other kids. We were the ABCs, and then there were these girls in the class. They were like, "Well, we want to battle," so they were like, "Okay, we're gonna call ourselves the 1-2-3." So like we did this battle. It was like the ABCs versus the 1-2-3s. And I think like I borrowed rhymes from like a Salt and Pepper song, and then I realized that I actually wrote some things to kind of tweak it to us. So I guess I was writing since I was like 8 years old. But it's funny, sometimes we do things and we don't realize like, oh, it's a talent, it's like a big deal or whatever. We just do it. We don't really think about who's gonna hear it, what they're gonna say about it. And for me, that's been a gift. Like when I'm really present and I'm really in my craft and I'm just doing it because it's just a part of who I am, that makes the difference. Like when I start feeling like, oh, well, yeah, if I say it this way and I do it this way, then they're gonna have this reaction. Like it just puts a whole damper on it. It's not the same. It really isn't. So 17, realizing that I want to be a recording artist, but also realizing that, okay, I want to get out the hood, and the best way for me to do that is with my education. So I wind up getting a full grant to go to a really amazing college by the name of Syracuse University. And when I got to Syracuse, I got the opportunity to really hone my craft and really start performing. And I remember I was singing in the shower, and one of my neighbors, this guy Danny, was like, "Yo, I heard you singing. You sound real good. Like, I'm actually thinking about starting like a group." And he says that to me, and I'm like, could I do a group? Like, I never really imagined being in a group, but I'm thinking about the groups that I love, like from like New Edition and later on 112. And I'm just like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. So we came up with a name. We called ourselves Mixture, and we had like these t-shirts made up. We got t-shirts made at a mall, and they had like the graffiti t-shirts. They do graffiti on the white Hanes t-shirt, and it was like a cocktail glass, and it had like two images of like two different color concoctions pouring into the glass called Mixture. And what was the song we did? I think it was Only You. We did Only You by 112, and we were doing our thing. We were killing it. And we decided, like, you know what? Let's keep doing this. Like, let's do more talent shows. So, any talent show that we can do in college, like, we showed up, we did. And then during summer breaks, since Danny lived in Brooklyn and I lived in Brooklyn, we would meet up, and then like we would go to like Prospect Park and sing. We'd go inside the subways and sing. And he had a couple of guys that he grew up with, and they wanted to be a part of a group. So he was like, okay, so we're gonna do a group called PRS. And what's PRS stand for? I forgot what it stands for. Well, whatever. Well, PRS is no longer together, but I still love those guys. But that being said, yeah, I just loved what was happening for me. It was like I was getting like a firsthand education on being an artist, and working with others and learning my strengths, learning my weaknesses. And that was a really interesting experience because for me, like, I guess I had the confidence. Like, I knew I wasn't the best singer, I wasn't the worst singer, but I can carry a tune. And I wasn't really focused on image so much. But what happens in a group is that people pick you apart. It just happens. So for me, I think I was the darkest brother in it. And we would go out to venues and try to network and meet people and stuff like that. And like, they'd be like, oh wow, your voice is crazy, and like you look this and you look that. And like, I would get compliments, but I would get these backhanded like, yeah, like, wow, like you look good for a dark skinned brother. Like, oh wow, like, and that really did a number on me because I didn't realize like how much image was a part of the whole game. Like, I thought like, okay, it's about talent. Then later on I found out, oh, it's not just about talent, it's about who you know. But then it became about what you look like. And yeah, that put a lot of pressure on me. So I remember watching other artists and seeing how things started changing in the industry. Like, I think the first time I really noticed a change, especially around male R&B singers, was with D'Angelo. When he put out the How Does It Feel video with the six-pack abs, with like the V shape and like the baby oiled up. And like, I remember every R&B singer after that, if he ain't have a six-pack, it's like he wouldn't even get a shot. Doesn't matter what he sounded like if he didn't have that body yachty, it was not happening. And that was really like tough for me because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like a teenager and I'm seeing this message and like, I don't have a six-pack and like, I don't have that body and like, I'm not all greased up. And does this mean that this is the right industry for me? So yeah, I just kept on keeping on. And I want to fast forward and say that when I graduated college, I'm like, look, I still want to do music. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't look like XYZ. I don't sound like XYZ, but I'm willing. So like, I'll put myself in recording studios and meet up with producers and like continue singing and trying to do talent shows as best as I can. I remember finding out about a way to perform on BET's 106 in Park. It was a thing called You Got Next. And what they would do is on Wednesdays, they would allow people to come in and like audition for You Got Next. And they would get a spot, maybe like 30 seconds to do their thing. And this was in the beginning. So it was Free and AJ Calloway hosting. And I actually got a shot. And I had no idea like how big of a deal 106 in Park was gonna be, but when the next day I would get like calls from friends like, this is before like text messaging, people would call me like, oh my god, I saw you on BET, like that's crazy. And like for me, I love the fact that I didn't really think so much about what people were gonna think about me. I just did it. Like, I just would jump for the opportunity. And this one thing for me, like, I think what sets me apart is my drive and determination, where most people would give up, most people would fold up. For me, I had moments where I would slow down, but I never all the way stopped. Like, for me, like, I say this thing about the plane. It's like, all right, my plane takes off. It might have a little bit of turbulence, but like I have to stay in the air. Like I just don't want to ground my plane. That's just not who I am as a person. So I just kept going. I kept going. I kept singing as much as I could and kept telling people like, hey, I want to sing. Like I want to be a recording artist. And like every now and then I would get little opportunities. And I remember being part of like different like songwriting groups and like working with artists who worked with bigger artists and hoping that like they would somehow put me on by association. But I never gave up. Um, I never gave up. Like I say in my song on my LAX album, giving up is not an option. Like I just can't give up. So I wind up meeting with so let's talk about fitness. So one of the things that has supported my dreams for many years has been fitness. I love fitness. I love working out. I've been a private personal trainer for 13, 14 years, but I've been working in fitness for almost 20 years. And I've met some amazing people. I've met like the top people of different industries. I've gotten opportunities. I've gotten to go places. And it's really built me up to the man I am today. Like, it's given me something else to take the pressure off my music vision and music dream. As we know, the music industry is not what it used to be. And I want to be transparent and say that I have never been able to support myself fully with my music. I've always had different things that have supported the dream. And I used to have shame about that. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not that big of an artist that I think I am. And maybe this isn't really what I should be doing. And I just said to myself, like, you know what? This is what it is. Acceptance. Like, acceptance of where you are, what you bring to the table, and your circumstance is a great starting point, because if I accept what the situation is, I can take action to change it. So with fitness and music, I met one of my first managers, and he recognized that I had something special, and he said, you know what, I'm going to invest money and I'm going to put this guy with a vocal coach and a producer. And he put me together with these two coaches by the names of Craig Derry and Clarell Henderson. And these two guys have worked with everyone from Faith Evans to Katy Perry, like some major talented artists across different genres. And I learned so much about my voice and my capabilities, and they were so encouraging. And like, I got to be competitive, and like, they would put me in these groups, like these like vocal camps that they would do. And like, I got to hear other R&B singers and pop singers and rock singers, and I got to like test out my voice in different genres. And it's just a fun experience. Like, I got a chance to fly. And meeting Clarell and vibing with him, realized like how talented he was, and he actually helped me develop my sound. So with me being a songwriter, I didn't really have any musicianship skills. Like, I couldn't play piano, I couldn't play guitar, but I had an ear and I can convey my point across. And I didn't realize I was producing before like I considered myself a producer. So Clarell and I would meet up, and I would sing a song over and over just to like give him the melody of it. I didn't know what key it was. I didn't know what the tempo was. I didn't have any of that music education. But he got it. Like, he would hear me, he would pull out the guitar and come up with these chords, and like, I'm like, oh shit, like, this is so dope. Like, this guy is like literally hearing what I'm saying, and he's like putting music behind it, like he's composing. Like, and I didn't even know he was composing, none of that. So we just kept that relationship going, where like I'd meet up with him and we did a barter. So like I would give him personal training and he would give me music. So it'd be a vocal lesson or a production session. Like, I had a skill that he needed and he had a skill that I needed. So we did a barter exchange. So we did a whole bunch of songs, and he said, oh, I know the studio that's downtown, and like, I could get us some studio time, and the guy's like a really good rate. And I was like, all right, but the fitness money I was making, I was able to like put money aside and invest it into my music. And I literally, for maybe 2 years, would just like go into the studio every Wednesday and Friday and just like record, like get in a booth and learn how my voice works and like do things over and 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 over again until I got it right. And I learned so much. So I'm so grateful for Clarel for taking me under his wing, because that actually helped develop me as an artist. So, in a few of the songs that we're doing, especially the up-tempo songs, like the more hip-hop influenced songs, I would do this thing to kind of amp myself up, like Benjamin, 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 hey, Benjamin, 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 hey. And he said to me one day, he's like, Ben, you say that so much, like people are gonna think that's your name. And he said that to me, and I was like, huh. So I wrote it down on paper. So I had my name Benjamin on the left side, then I put Benjamin Hay on the right side. And I looked at the Benjamin Hay and I'm like, I like how this looks on paper, but there was more. I put the exclamation point at the end because I'm like, all right, it sounds big, it sounds bold, like Benjamin Hay, like, hey, if I think hey, like I'm yelling at you, I'm talking to you, like, I put that exclamation and I look at it and it's like, yo, that's it. This is the one right here. So I've been Benjamin Hay ever since, and I never looked back. And my life has been bigger. My life has been bolder. It's been turbulent. I've accelerated. I had moments where the plane was about to go down, but it always comes back up. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey. So I wanted to say that being an artist and having my alter ego as Benjamin Hay, I've had to like put everything together, like with fitness, even where I don't even think I talked about this, but I teach group fitness for a gym called Equinox, which is a top fitness brand in New York. Actually, they're worldwide now. I decided that if I'm going to be there, I don't want to be this like, okay, fitness on one side and my music and entertainment on this side. I want them to know, like, listen, I'm also a recording artist. So they now know me, and I actually will sneak my music on the playlist and play my music when I'm teaching in these classes. So yeah, Benjamin Hay is a cool motherfucker. He is now the captain, as you see, and we'll talk about that in another video. But I have a lot to give to the entertainment industry, and I'm grateful that I get to be of service through the gift of music. And I hope you stick around for the journey, because everybody that flies with me flies first class, baby. Thank you.